Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan. I'm coming to you live from Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts, proudly bringing you coverage of the 2021 MIAA Division I Boys Soccer State Championship game. It's been a long road to get here and one heck of a crazy tournament here in 2021, but now it's all coming to a close today. Our final contestants here in the tournament, we have the third-seeded Newton North High Tigers, seen here with the orange jerseys and white jersey numbers on my left. And on my right, we have the ninth-seeded Brookline High Warriors. Warriors playing with white jerseys and blue outlined jersey numbers. Like I said, it's been one heck of a crazy tournament. Newton North coming in as the third seed, a little more expected to be here, but throughout this tournament, the top seeds have really been dropping like flies. First-seeded Hingham High, they fell in the round of 16 against 17th-seeded St. John's Prep, while second-seeded Needham High also lost in the round of 16 on penalty kicks to 18th-seeded Concord Carlisle. Fourth-seeded Marshfield High fell to 13th-seeded Lexington, also in the round of 16. So we lost 3 of the top 4 teams before we even got to the Elite 8 in this tournament. It's been a really wild go at it, with plenty of upsets all around. And in fact, Newton North was not only the highest seed remaining in the Final Four back on Wednesday, they were the only team in the top 8 that had made it to the Final Four. The next highest seed was Brookline High at number 9. So an absolute crazy tournament, and be honest, would you want it to end any other way than Brookline against Newton North? If you're a fan of either of these schools, if you ever went to either of these schools, you understand the long-running rivalry that these two have, as, two schools that geographically are pretty close together. They have a long history of playing each other. They're going to continue their tradition of playing football on Thanksgiving next Thursday, and I plan to be there to cover that one as well. But just sort of tells you the history between these two programs, and to have them now facing off with a state title on the line, it really doesn't get much better than that. So with that said, let's take a look at the paths that these two programs took to get to the peak here in the state finals. Starting off, we'll take a look at Newton North's path. Again, they came in as the third seed, so one of the higher favorites to make it this far. They got a bye through the preliminary round as the third seed. And then in the round of 32, they faced off against 35th seeded Cambridge Ringe and took care of business 2-1. In the round of 16, they faced 14th seeded Medford High and blew them out 5-0 to advance to the Elite 8. But it was there that things started getting kind of complicated, because since that blowout against Medford, Newton North has not scored a goal in regulation. Going up in the Elite 8 against 11th seeded St. John's High, the game went all the way to penalty kicks before Newton North finally triumphed and moved on to the Final Four. And then in the Final Four again, went through regulation with no score. This time took care of business in overtime with a game winner against 18th seeded Concord Carlisle. Putting an end to Concord Carlisle's Cinderella run up to that point and marking their place in the finals. So Newton North, a high seed for sure, but they have faced their fair share of struggles against lower-seeded opponents. It hasn't been an easy path for them, and they've certainly earned their right to be here, as have their opponents, the 9th-seeded Brookline High Warriors. Let's take a look at their path. So as the 9th seed, Brookline also got a bye through the preliminary round, and then in the round of 32, they hosted 24th seeded North Andover, were held scoreless in the first half, but then got the one goal they needed in the second half, courtesy of Rowan Raudebush, to take the 1-0 victory over North Andover. They moved on to the Sweet 16, where they faced off against 8th-seeded Arlington. And again, it was a late second-half goal, this time scored by Oscar Kulkarni, to give them the 1-0 victory over the Spy Ponders, and what is so far the only upset win on Brookline's resume. Despite being a slightly lower seed coming in, they've only needed one upset win, and that upset win was only against a team 1 seed higher. Like I said, this tournament has been absolutely wild, as in the next round, Brookline faced off against 17th-seeded St. John's Prep in the Elite Eight. St. John's was coming off a big upset of the tournament's top seed, Hingham High, but Brookline took care of business. Co-captain Max Hatchett scored in the first half, and Brookline held a 1-0 lead through much of the game, but St. John's was able to tie it up and send it into overtime, where Brookline needed the heroics of one Eamon Boschel, who scored on a header for the game winner to move his team into the Final Four. And then, of course, for those of you who've been following my streams, you know that in the Final Four on Wednesday, the Warriors again took care of business, but again needed some late-game heroics. Just over 5 minutes left in regulation, and it was Isaac Heffes who came through with the game winner that Brookline needed in order to get past the 13th-seeded Lexington High Minutemen and claim their spot here in the state finals. So Brookline has scored just 5 goals in the postseason, and all from different goal scorers. Nobody has scored more than once. Newton North matched that total in a single game against Medford High, but like I said, since that big blowout victory over Medford, Newton North has not scored in regulation. They've had to win via penalty kicks and then in OT. So really interesting, both teams coming in. And I can already see we have our first comment in the live chat from David Silberg, Go Warriors. And as always, I encourage everyone to participate in the live chat. We had so much fun in the live chat during the semifinals. It was great seeing all that audience participation. I loved it, and I encourage it once again, whether you want to give a shout out to your team, your favorite players, you want to say hi to the other folks watching the live stream, or if you got something you want to say to me, if I'm mucking something up, or if you just want to say hello, I don't mind. But with that said, pre-game clock has just ended. I think we're about to have some last pre-game ceremonies. I'll try and read through the rosters really quick, see if I can get through it before we get started this game. I got a little too chatty there. Sorry about that. First, we'll start off with the 9th-seeded Brookline High Warriors. Going in order of jersey number, we have a senior, number 2, Maxwell Blaney. A senior, number 3, Rowan Raudebush. A sophomore, number 4, Eamon Boschel. A senior co-captain, number 5, Max Hatchett. A senior, number 6, Benjamin Levy. A senior co-captain, number 7, Evan Gattel. A senior, number 8, Charlie Silverman. A senior, number 9, Ezra Kornmeyer. A senior co-captain, number 10, Toby Prabhu Schlosser. A senior, number 11, Rafael Mata. A senior co-captain, number 12, Tyler Mahoney. A sophomore, number 13, Henry Ames. A junior, number 14, Taj Horowitz. A senior, number 15, Colin Lacayo. A junior, number 16, Max Luby. A junior, number 17, Toshiki Kobayashi. A junior, number 18, Sam King. A junior, number 19, Oscar Kulkarni. A sophomore, number 20, Oliver Stern. A senior, number 21, Isaac Heffes. A junior, number 22, Julian Gravero. A sophomore, number 26, A. Sebastian Cuervo. A sophomore, number 27, Sebastian Spinelli. A junior, number 28, Ellery Nisler. A junior, number 32, Nico Sever Walter. A junior, number 61, Oscar Applebaum. A sophomore, number 63, Leo Ansari. A junior, number 66, Ethan Ghosh. A sophomore, number 68, Danny Dokov. And then the goalkeepers, a senior, number 29, Daniel Mickelson. A sophomore, number 36, Jackson McGee. A junior, number 79, Liam Sheldon. And a senior, number 99, Max Curiel. And now they're playing the national anthem, so I'm going to stop talking for a bit. All right, the national anthem just ended, and in the live chat, we got our first fun fact of the day from David Silberg. To my knowledge, this is the first time that a Brookline team sport has made a state final since the 2004 boys basketball team. That is absolutely wild. I don't, and I can't look that up. That would take me a while to look up if I was to try and research and double check that, so I'll take your word for it. I know Brookline has had a history of strong soccer teams. I know they had some good teams back when I was going to Brookline High from 07 to 2011, but I don't know if they ever made it this far. But certainly an accomplishment for this year's team. And now, one game to decide all the marbles. I read out the Brookline High roster, and of course, head coach of the Brookline boys soccer team is Kyle Bolu-Jones. For Newton North, the third-seeded Newton North High Tigers, I'll try and read through the roster as quick as I can. A junior, number 0, Duncan Naylor. A junior, number 1, Henry Baker. A sophomore, number 2, Owen Potter. A junior, number 3, Sebastian Devo. A junior, number 4, Alessio Viscariello. A senior co-captain, number 5, Andrew Nielsen. A senior, number 6, Danilo Talisayan. A senior co-captain, number 7, Rialto Gennaro. A senior, number 8, Emiliano Gisholt. A senior, number 9, Mark Hiranandani. A senior co-captain, number 10, Will Rooney. A senior co-captain, number 11, Akash Sahadevan. A senior, number 12, Emerson Tutt. A senior, number 13, Kyle Judge. A senior, number 14, Anthony Oliveira. A junior, number 15, Jason Shapiro. A junior, number 16, Theo Hoffman. A junior, number 17, Matt Gillen. A junior, number 18, Harrison Georgiadis. A junior, number 19, Rob Nicolazzo. A junior, number 20, Javier Garcia. A junior, number 23, Isang Iboketi. A senior, number 33, Samuel Greenwald. A sophomore, number 42, Franco Morrow. A sophomore, number 49, Thomas Rooney. And a junior, number 99, David Gutierrez. Head coach of the Newton North High boys soccer team is Roy Dow. So we see both teams putting their starters out on the field, getting ready to get this one underway. We've got 40 minutes on the clock for the first half. And David Silberg lighting up this live chat early. I love the comments, David. Kyle Jones, great coach and teacher in the Excel program. I love it. It's always great when you hear about coaches that also take part in the, student part of student athletes that are part of the educational program. As we see starters coming out for Newton North, starting between the pipes will be number 1, Henry Baker. As presumably for Brookline High, they'll stick with their usual starter between the pipes, number 99, Max Curiel. And indeed, that will be the case. Two teams coming out. Looks like Newton North. Waiting to see who's going to get the opening possession. Looks like it's going to be Brookline, who will have the opening possession here. Trying to see if I can spot the jersey number of who is going to be getting us started, but it looks like he's going to be turned the other way. There's the opening whistle. Ezra Kornmeyer kicks it back, and we're underway. Toby Prabhu-Schlosser fakes and dribbles up the middle. Prabhu-Schlosser lifts one all the way off ahead and ultimately kicked away by the Newton North defense. Headed back by Kornmeyer. Heffes couldn't get to that one, and it's booted away by the Tigers. Prabhu-Schlosser couldn't control that one, and instead it's corralled by number 7, Rialto Gennaro, and Newton North starts working up the far side. Cut off very quickly and passed back to Julian Gravero. Now passed back up. I think that is Raudebush, who then passed it over to Prabhu-Schlosser, and now back to Gravero. Gravero passes back to Prabhu-Schlosser. He dribbles with pressure from behind and draws a foul call. Long pass across goes to Max Luby. Luby sends it ahead, finds Max Hatchett, but Hatchett mishandles it, and it's out of bounds. Throw in now for the Tigers. Goes up the line, gets past Luby. Gennaro had it for a second, but booted away by Tyler Mahoney. Expect me to say that name a lot when things get over on Brookline's side of the field. The Warriors center back has been everywhere throughout this season and the playoffs. As the throw-in goes back, Newton North resets with number 5, Andrew Nielsen, swinging it over to his fellow back, who then sends it back to Nielsen. Nielsen dribbling, sends it up to number 16, Theo Hoffman. Hoffman dribbles away from the pressure from Rafael Mata and passes it back to Nielsen. Nielsen once again sends it across as Newton North patiently looking for their opening. Again, a long swing over to Hoffman. Hoffman now dribbling, kicks it ahead, finds a target, just recovered by Gennaro, but stolen away now and passed ahead. Give-and-go attempt, but off the mark. Wasn't quite timed properly, and now a quick throw-in for Newton North. Working up the near side, this is number 18, who gets cut off, and it's knocked out of bounds by Max Luby. That was number 18, Harrison Georgiadis, who is trying to make things happen there. Hoffman throwing it in, aims for Gennaro, but it's headed away by Luby, downed by Newton North, passed back, aiming for, I believe, number 6, Danilo Talisayan, who then sends it back, and now a pass across goes to Hoffman. Hoffman launches one towards the box, off ahead and off the mark. A good effort by Newton North as that last header, the player got great position maneuvering around the coverage of Julian Gravero, but header off the mark there. And so Brookline starts over with the goal kick. Max Curiel puts his arm up, and here comes the kick. Off the head of a Tiger, off another head and downed, and Gennaro controls it, passes it. Now a leading pass off the mark, and this one's going to roll away and be downed by Curiel as Brookline resets. Curiel scoops it up inside the box, now looking, punts it towards midfield, and deflected by Newton North. Another deflection and a header, and it looks like we got a foul call against Brookline. So a free kick coming from Andrew Nielsen for the Tigers from about the 43-yard line. Launches it towards the box, headed out immediately by Max Luby. And they're going to call a foul on Newton North. Good defensive efforts by Luby. That's another defensive name you can expect me to say a lot today. Mahoney, Luby, and Gravero have formed a very strong defensive back line. There's a reason they've only allowed 1 goal this whole postseason, with, of course, the senior Curiel between the pipes behind them. Now Brookline trying to make things happen, and the ball gets stolen away, lost out of bounds, and Newton North ball. Newton North throwing it in, off ahead, deflected into the air, downed by Heffis. Heffis passes, finds his target, collision, no foul call, and Newton North gets to reset as they send it back to their keeper, Henry Baker. Pass out for, I believe, Nielsen, as he brings it up the near side, or no, that wasn't Nielsen, my mistake. His pass is deflected out by Rafael Mata. I think that was Hoffman, actually. As now a bit of a scrum for the ball, and Mata wins it, passes back to Hatchett, and now to Kornmeyer, but oh, there was a foul call against Newton North, so it's a free kick for Brookline. Luby getting ready to take the free kick, and he launches it off the head of a Tiger's back, and now the loose ball chased down by Raudebusch. He's trying to work up the far side, running out of room, lost out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw in, passed back to Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer sends a pass ahead. Oh, tried for a one-touch to Heffis, but just off the mark. I think that was Kulkarni who made that attempt. Nice idea, just too good at the defense as this one is lost out of bounds. Newton North ball. Throw in down the line and deflected out of bounds again. Another throw in from Newton North off the head of Prabhu Schlosser, controlled by, I want to say, Mata, but lost control of it. Now a whole bunch of kicks into the air. Off a head, another head, and now a kick. Kornmeier trying to clear it out, but can't do it. It's controlled. Big kick is deflected by Kornmeier, and now controlled by Heffes as he passes it back to Gravero. Good efforts by Ezra Kornmeier. Gravero finally sends a pass ahead. It's deflected into open space. Bit of a collision for the ball, and then ultimately it's taken by Raudebusch and passed over to Mata. Mata now coming around the near side and forces the deflection out of bounds. Brookline ball. Decides to pass it off to Raudebusch for the throw-in. Throw-in finds Heffes. Heffes passes it back to Kornmeier. Kornmeier got some space. He surveys, floats one up down the far side, finds Raudebusch. Raudebusch finds defense, and it gets knocked out of bounds. Brookline ball. Throw in, deflected back to Raudebusch. Kick is deflected, chased down by Mata. Mata passes it back to Gravero. Now back to Mata. Mata sends it towards the box, headed away by the Newton North defense and controlled by Gennaro. Passed out to the far side and then up the line, aiming for Gennaro. Gennaro can't get it past Gravero, and Gravero passes it away, but intercepted immediately by Newton North. And an attempted leading kick goes too far, scooped up easily by Curiel. Rolled into Gravero. Gravero dribbling through, pass over to Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser launches a long kick. He's aiming for Hatchet. Deflected down and booted away by, I believe, Hoffman. Luby keeps it inbounds. And a battle for the ball is won by Brookline as Kornmeier takes this one, passes it over to Mata. Mata lifts it high in the air, deflects off a couple heads into space, off the foot of Kornmeier, kicked back. Hatchet kicks it ahead, and it skips past his intended target, Kulkarni, as this one's booted away. Now after the deflection, it's recovered by Mahoney, who sends it ahead to Kornmeier, now over to Hatchet. Hatchet towards the middle, and Hatchet draws the foul call. He's a little hobbled getting up, and certainly hope he's okay. You know, I got to admit my mistake. I didn't give Max Hatchet nearly enough credit for his part in that game winner against Lexington in the semifinal. He made a fantastic heads-up steal in the forward end and a beautiful touch pass for Isaac Heffes that set up really Brookline's best scoring opportunity that game. And, of course, Heffes delivered on it. Luby swings it across over to Gravero. Gravero passes it ahead to Raudebusch, now over to Kornmeier, back to Gravero. Gravero lifts this one, deflects off the head of a Newton North player, kicked back ahead by Raudebusch and deflected out of bounds. Throw in for Brookline goes to Heffes. Heffes passes back. I think that was Mata trying to get out of traffic. Pass back to Gravero. Gravero pass back in, gets it to Kornmeier, and Kornmeier had too many orange shirts in there. Pass now intercepted by Kulkarni. Kulkarni now working it up the far side, lost track of it, kicked out of bounds by Newton North. Quick throw in. And now a kick towards the middle is headed away by Newton North. And a tap from Gennaro is then cut off by Luby. And then off the foot of, I believe, Hoffman. And Luby boxes out Georgiadis to get the favorable out-of-bounds call. Throw in from Luby. Deflects and then taken by Heffes. Heffes kicks it ahead. Oscar Kulkarni is not going to get a chance. That's offsides. A free kick for Newton North, and Andrew Nielsen lining up. Swings it across to his fellow back, who then sends it up the line on the far side. Raudebusch providing some pressure, as are some of his teammates. Raudebusch comes through with the ball. Rowan Raudebusch dribbling, looking for an opening, doesn't get one, and eventually someone comes in from behind and pokes it away. That kick is deflected and recovered by Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer's pass intercepted and now passed ahead. It's deflected and ultimately stolen away by Prabhu Schlosser and passed back to Luby. Now Gravero sends it over to Mahoney. Deflects off ahead but goes right to one of the Newton North backs. And this pass ahead slightly off the mark but recovered and kept in bounds. Newton North working up the far side. Past the middle, intercepted by Kornmeyer, passed back to Gravero, and now all the way back to Curiel. Curiel takes it. Dangerous kick, but he gets it away. Gennaro was trying to deflect that one, but nothing doing. Now Hoffman had the ball for a second, stolen back to Prabhu Schlosser, and now over to Gravero. Has the ball along the far side. Heffes trying to gain the edge. Centering kick. Booted away. I think that was Hoffman who booted that one. Now launched back towards the box and over the bar. Brookline making things exciting here as of course, the Wi-Fi is going to decide to be a little bit obnoxious right now. If this ends up being a severe problem, I am recording this, but I expect things will hopefully stabilize as we go. This ball kicked up field by Newton North. They're trying to chase after it, but boxed out by Luby again, and this will be a goal kick. Come on, not now. Goal kick for Curiel. Curiel boots it. Off ahead and off a foot. Now Gennaro tries to kick it ahead. Slightly off the mark from his teammate. Number 14, Anthony Oliveira, was trying to control that one. My apologies for the buffering here. Sometimes Wi-Fi goes in and out because I'm using my phone for Wi-Fi, and if there's a lot of people in the area, sometimes it can get a little befuddled. Brookline now trying to kick a leading pass. Big chance! Oscar Kulkarni, extra pass, deflected and lost. That was a huge chance. A great pass from, I believe, Heffes as he led Kulkarni. Almost had a big one there, but ultimately just slightly deflected that extra pass. Now launching it towards the box again. Deflects off ahead. It's being chased after. And Newton North clears it out up the line. Now off ahead. Deflected down again. Pass back, intercepted. And Brookline trying to steal it away. It's taken by Mata. Mata pass to the middle, finds Prabhu Schlosser. Now over to, I want to say, Kornmeyer. Passed back to Gravero. Pass ahead is deflected. More deflections and ultimately booted upfield. Gennaro is chasing after it. He looks like he's going to win the foot race to the ball, but the defender's coming in swiftly, and Gravero takes it away and passes it over to Mahoney. Now pass over to Luby, and Luby clears it out. This pass finds its target. That's Heffes. Heffes weaves his way through one defender, but not through multiple, and it's kicked away. Swooping in is Raudebusch, who gets the favorable deflection out of bounds as some subs check in. For Brookline, it looks like number 4, Eamon Boschel, checks in, replacing Max Hatchett. Throw in here is downed. Mata tries to tap it for Kulkarni. Deflected, lost out of bounds, Brookline ball. And speaking of Boschel, we do have a message in the chat from Jenny Green. I'm Eamon Boschel's mom and want to clarify that his goal against St. John's was a kick, not a header, as has been reported. Trace Pot didn't catch the goal, but there is video that shows it. That's fine by me. I prefer getting things right, as an offsides call now stops this offensive possession for Brookline. So, appreciate the correction, Jenny. Thank you for for the information. As now, Newton North trying to work it out of their own end. This one launched in the air. It's being chased after. It looks like Mahoney is going to get there first, and he's simply going to head it out of bounds. Throw in goes off the head of Oliveira. Gennaro wrestles it away from Luby. He's trying to fake out Mahoney, but has to pass it back to Oliveira. Kick to the middle. Dangerous shot. Misses high. That was a dangerous one from, I believe, number 10, Will Rooney. And now this will be Max Curiel lining up for the goal kick, as it looks like the Wi-Fi connection has stabilized a bit. Still scoreless so far here in the 18th minute of the first half. Couple deflections off of the goal kick, and now Newton North controls the ball, try and pass it ahead, but it's going to be chased down by Luby. Luby passes ahead to Bochelle. Bochelle faces pressure, and it's stolen away by, I believe, Georgiadis, who then draws the corner kick. Actually, I think that might have been number 10, Will Rooney. I'm trying to read the jersey numbers at a distance here. Newton North with the first goal kick of the afternoon, as here in the start of the 19th minute, they line up to launch this one. Looks like number 11, Kash Sahadevan, launches it towards the box, headed away, but then kicked back in, kicked back out! Oh my goodness, who was that? I think that was Toby Prabhu Schlosser. Hard to confirm, but I'm pretty sure that was Prabhu Schlosser who just saved Brookline from an early deficit. Throw in now coming from Hoffman. Deflects off Gennaro. Number 8 kicks it into the middle, and it's booted away by the Brookline defense. Brookline trying desperately to clear it out after a dangerous chance like that, as Mata kicks it upfield and out of bounds, or Hefes, excuse me. So still scoreless after the great last line defensive effort by Toby Prabhu Schlosser. As now this is Bochelle, whose pass misses Mata, intercepted by Hoffman. Pass to the middle to Rooney, and now passed back to, I think, having trouble reading some of the jersey numbers. But anyway, Newton North trying to gain the edge on the far side. Too much defensive pressure, and Mahoney kicks it ahead, and now Brookline takes over. This is Mata now with the ball, and he launches it up the far side and out of bounds. Almost 20 minutes in, no score here at Manning Field, as a couple of deflections, and the ball is lost out of bounds. This will be a goal kick for Brookline. Nice to see a lot of the live chatters talking about where they're watching from. We got one from Texas, one from Michigan, one from upstate New York. I love it. I absolutely love it. I love hearing how far the support network for this team stretches throughout the country, and I love being able to provide a way for y'all to watch even though you can't be here in person. Off the goal kick, it's a scrum for the ball, and ultimately goes to Rooney. Rooney trying to lead Oliveira. Oliveira has the ball, but can't get through Max Luby. Luby controlling the ball, finally kicks it upfield, finds his target. I believe that's Bochelle. Bochelle sends it to the middle. But dangerous. It's deflected, but then booted away by Brookline. Newton North recovers it on the far side, but now intercepted by Raudebush. Pass to the middle. It's poked away and ultimately sent back to Gravero. Gravero kicks it upfield, finds Hefes. Hefes now a leading kick for Bochelle, but it's headed away and booted by Oliveira. Now downed by, I believe, Mata. Mata pass ahead to Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser passes it over to Bochelle, and now back to Prabhu Schlosser again. Coming around, kicks it into the air, deflects. It's being chased after by Kulkarni. Kulkarni trying to gain the edge, but the defender was there first. Lost out of bounds, and we got a sub checking in on both sides, looks like. Hard for me to see exactly who's checking in for Brookline. I think it's number 7, Evan Gattel. As this throw-in goes to, I believe, Kornmeyer. He launches it into the box. It's launched right back out. Off ahead. And now downed. Newton North taking over. They pass it all the way back to their back line. Now working up the far side, they lose it out of bounds. Just under 18 minutes left in the first half. Still no score between Brookline and Newton North here in the Division I Boys Soccer State Championship. As this ball is now lost out of bounds by Brookline, it will go to Newton North. Couple deflections off the throw-in, and now it's controlled again by Newton North. Pass aimed at Oliveira goes off the head of Boschel and out of bounds. Hoffman lining up to throw it in. And it deflects off a Brookline player and then out of bounds back to Newton North. Hoffman throwing it in again, trying to figure out which way he's going, goes up the line, and stolen by Brookline, and Brookline gets the favorable deflection. Nice footwork by Boschel and Mata. A substitution for Brookline as Boschel checks out in favor of Max Hatchett. Throw in coming from Luby, deflects out of bounds off of Newton North's number 6, Danilo Talisayan. Quick throw in from Brookline, deflects. This one goes to Gattel. Gattel passes back to Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer passes it out to the far end to Gravero. Gravero sends it up the line, but cut off and intercepted by the Tigers. Now lifted up, deflected down, kicked upfield by Gravero. Bit of a deflection and collision. Gattel was trying to work with it for a second, but ultimately too many orange shirts stolen away by Newton North. Now a pass from Nielsen to Hoffman. Now back to Nielsen. Nielsen swings it out to the other end. And now back to Nielsen it goes. Newton North acting patiently here as they look around. This one floated. Oliveira trying to chase it down along the far side. He can't work his way through Luby, and it's out of bounds Newton North ball. Throw in now from Hoffman. Goes over the heads of several players and then booted out by Brookline. Now Hatchett with the ball. Hatchett kicks it upfield, but right back to Nielsen, who boots it all the way to the far end. I think this one's going to bounce out of bounds. No, it's not kept in by Newton North. It'll be a throw-in. And we got more comments talking about where everybody's from. Anchorage, Alaska, Florida, family in Alaska, and even in Europe and Seattle. I love it. I can't say enough how much I love it. Throw in up the line for Brookline. Wrestled away by Newton North. Now a scrum for the ball on the far side. Newton North trying to make something happen, but ultimately cut off. But now stolen right back. I think that's Gennaro now sending a leading pass. Sliding in is Curielli. Didn't get it, but they lost control. Ran out of space. And that one's going to be a goal kick for Brookline. Some great ball movement from Newton North there. I couldn't quite tell exactly who was there. I think that was Gennaro at the end. Or no, Gennaro made the pass. I couldn't quite tell who it was at the end that almost had it. Looks like it was number 9, Mark Hiranandani. But ultimately, they just ran out of room there. Another throw in for Newton North. Still no score. Oh, but a big chance. Fires! Saved by Curiel, but it's a loose ball. Fires! Misses wide! That was either Gennaro or Hiranandani who took that first shot. Good save by Curiel, but he couldn't get his hands around it and grip it. And the juicy rebound was kicked by Oliveira, but he just missed wide. Now Curiel prepares for the goal kick as we got just over 13 minutes left in the first half. Still no score. Bounces, and we got an over-the-back foul against Brookline. I think they called that on Hefes. Free kick coming from Nielsen. Nielsen launches it towards the box. Crowd of players there, off ahead, deflected and booted away by Brookline. Now the ball stolen right back by Newton North. Kick is launched and it one-hops into the arms of Curiel. That kick from number 6, Talasion. Or Talision. High bouncing, deflects, and ultimately controlled by Hoffman. Hoffman sends it upfield, finds Gennaro. Gennaro tries a touch pass, but cut off by Prabhu Schlosser. Pass to Luby as we have a foul call now against Newton North as Gennaro kind of ran over Hatchett. So as a weird deflection, Prabhu Schlosser kicks it now towards the middle. And a pass upfield is cut off by Newton North. And now a big chance. Oh, this is a big poke through. But ultimately he stumbled and couldn't keep up with the ball. Scooped up by Curiel. A rare defensive lapse for Brookline. As I believe that was Hiranandani who managed to fake out Mahoney. You're not going to see a lot of offensive players be able to get past Mahoney like that. But once again, it just doesn't bounce Newton North's way. And the score remains 0-0. Couple kicks back and forth, and now poked away by Evan Gattel, controlled by Brookline. Brookline trying to get some offense together. The pass over to Isaac Hefes. Hefes now lifts one down the far side, but downed well by the Newton North defense. Kick to the middle to Rooney. Rooney sends it up the far side, but out of bounds. Question, is that Buffin at goalkeeper for Brookline? That is number 99, Max Curiel, who is between the pipes for the Warriors. And we got a scrum for the ball. It goes into the air. Brookline trying to rush in and take it. Still scrumming for it. Ultimately booted away by Newton North. Now this is Hiranandani who taps it back, bringing it upfield. Newton North is ultimately cut off by Max Luby, but the clear kick goes right to another Newton North player. Now a lifting pass for Oliveira. Oliveira! No foul call inside the box. Newton North wanted that penalty kick so badly, but they did not get it. Now Isaac Hefes trying to work his way up the field. Sliding kick. Knocks it away. Out of bounds, Brookline ball. And we've got a sub coming in so they can't rush that throw in. Brookline now gets to take a minute to kind of reset. That was a tough string of offense from Newton North as the throw-in is tapped back to Luby. Luby almost loses the ball, but favorable deflection out of bounds. It stays with Brookline. Hiranandani came in and poked that one away. Luby now throws it in. Deflected down. Mata kicks it, and it flies out of bounds back to Newton North. 9.5 minutes left in the first half. No score between Brookline and Newton North here in the Division I Boys Soccer State Championship. This ball lifted up the near side and out of bounds. Goes back to Brookline. Another sub coming in, and so Brookline has to wait. Now the throw-in goes to Hatchett. Hatchett kicks it to the middle to, I believe, Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer sending a slow rolling pass to Gravero, who gets it away to Mahoney before Gennaro can get there. Mahoney fakes and passes over to Luby. Luby sends it back to Mahoney. Mahoney gets it away to Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser launches it into the air. It's being chased down and being scrummed for and ultimately booted away. Stolen for a second by Brookline, but lost balance. Now Brookline taking it back. I think that's Raudebush, who's working it up the far side. Now has it taken away and now kicked out of bounds. Newton North ball. Quick throw in for Newton North. Booted upfield. It's going to be Luby getting there first. And he kicks it upfield and out of bounds. Hoffman throws it in. Skips past off the head of, I believe, Prabhu Schlosser, but now controlled by Gennaro and passed back to Hoffman. Hoffman lifts it, headed away by Mahoney, but it's going to go right back to Newton North. They lift it back into the box, but it's a can of corn for Curiel. Curiel punts it into the air. Deflects off a foot. Now passed over to Hoffman. Hoffman sends it back to Nielsen. Nielsen taps it over to the other back on the far side, whose number I'm struggling to read. As now Newton North trying to work it up the far side. And stolen away by, I believe, Gravero, and he draws the foul. 7 minutes left, still no score here in the first half. Julian Gravero lining up for the free kick. See if he can get some offense started for Brookline, as Newton North has really been controlling things the past few minutes. They go for a simple pass, and now a kick is immediately booted away by Nielsen and out of bounds. Heffes throws it in back to Luby. Luby's pass is deflected out of bounds by Rooney. Another throw in for Brookline. Heffes throws it in. It deflects, downed by Mata for a second, but not enough space, and it's stolen away by the Tigers. Lifted up the near side. Luby chases it down. Turns around and kicks it upfield. Finds his man. Pass goes back to Heffes now. A give and go back to Heffes. Heffes lifts it over the defense, but chased down by Talisayan. And now Newton North trying to work it up the far side, but cut off by Gravero. Gravero dribbling, pass ahead, and now stolen away back by Newton North. And too much pressure, they had to pass it back to the back line. They fake out Kulkarni, kick it upfield, downed by Hiranandani, and now a touch pass up the far side. Booted out of bounds by Gravero. 5.5 minutes. Still no score here in the first half of the Division I Boys Soccer State Championship game. Throw in off ahead and into open space, but the first one there is going to be Max Hatchett. Hatchett kicks it upfield for Heffes. Heffes passes it back to Luby. Luby kicks it upfield, finds a target. It's Kulkarni, but Kulkarni gets swarmed, and Talisayan draws the foul. Now Newton North again working it up the far side. Pass goes ahead and now poked away. I think this is Kornmeyer now with the ball as he sends it upfield to Kulkarni. Kulkarni trying to send it up the far side, but out of bounds. Throw in for Newton North. Goes back to Nielsen. Nielsen lifts it off the head of, I believe, Luby, and then down by Brookline. Pass over to Heffes. Luby's moving on the offense now. Heffes gets poked away from behind by Oliveira, but now stolen back by Heffes. Heffes dribbling around, he passes it back to Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer fighting off Gennaro and gets the pass away to Gravero. Gravero back to Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer dribbling again. This time it gets wrestled away by Gennaro, but not without a foul call. Gravero setting up for the free kick. This time he lifts it, and it's headed out, but chased down by Brookline. The pass from Raudebush is intercepted by Talasayan, and now players go down again. This time it's a foul call on Brookline. This one against Raudebush. Just over 3 minutes left in the first half. We will soon enter stoppage time when the clock freezes at 2 minutes. And then only the officials will know how much time we got before the break. No score between Brookline and Newton North as the Tigers line up for a free kick. Off ahead. Now kicked back and headed back out. Newton North takes it again. Now dribbling, finds a hole, fires a shot, and it's well wide. Man, some more faraway places people are watching from. Norway, Gloucestershire in the UK. Hope I pronounced that right. Booted away by Curiel. Off ahead. Now booted up. Oh, dangerous chance for Huron and Donnie. And the combined efforts of Luby and Mahoney put an end to that offensive push. Hatchett barely keeps it in bounds and now gets the favorable deflection out of bounds by Oliveira, who went for a sliding tackle there. Throw in from Hatchett off the head. Now kicked ahead by Heffis. And Kulkarni tried to leap in, but boxed out by Talasayan. And now Newton North sends it upfield. This is Gennaro, who is cut off immediately by Kornmeyer. Passed ahead to Hatchett. Hatchett back to Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser across the field over to Gravero. Now upfield to, I believe, Raudebush. Raudebush dribbling. Finds a lane. He's got some space. Long pass across the field to Mata. Mata couldn't control it enough, and Oliveira poked it away. And now sent upfield, but intercepted by Prabhu Schlosser. Now Hatchett with the ball. Hatchett fights off a defender. Now tries to lift a pass, but off the mark from where his teammate was running towards, as it's booted away by Newton North, and they start to work up the far side. And ultimately, ball is deflected and kicked out of bounds to prevent the corner. Good hustle by Gravero to prevent the potential corner kick. We are in stoppage time now in the first half. No score between Brookline and Newton North. Newton North about to make a throw in from deep inside Brookline territory. A running start on this throw in. It's deflected down. Defense providing pressure. Trying to get it away for a clean kick. And now eventually they launch one towards the box. It's downed. Stood up by Luby and booted away by Hatchett. Newton North trying to work it back in. Dangerous, and Curiel slides in. Loose ball, and Curiel falls on it. And there's the whistle for halftime. What a note to end on. We are midway through the MIAA Division I Boys Soccer State Finals between Brookline and Newton North. No score so far. As we head into halftime, just want to take a moment and tell you about an organization in Brookline trying to do some good for the community that could use your help. The Brookline Food Pantry. The Brookline Food Pantry provides groceries to Brookline residents in need of food assistance. The pantry saw a huge increase in demand for food assistance at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic, and that number, unfortunately, has not gone back down. Since March of 2020, the food pantry has served an average of 650 to 700 households each week, more than 4 times the rate of families served pre-COVID. And again, that rate has not gone down. The Brookline Food Pantry is fighting the good fight to end hunger in our community, and they are always looking for more people willing to lend a hand, whether through monetary donations, direct food donations, or volunteers in the pantry. Food donations can be made at United Parish at 210 Harvard Street on Wednesdays from 10:30 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. and on Fridays from 9:30 a.m. to noon. Visit brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339 for more information about how you can volunteer with the pantry or provide donations and help feed your community. Once again, that's brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. You can also see that link and that phone number in the description of this video at any time. As well, in the description of this video, you can also see a link to my personal website, jessesports.com. You can find out more about me, the services that I provide, and how you can commission those services for your team. You can also follow me on social media. Links to my Facebook and Instagram are in the description of this video as well. My Facebook, admittedly, I haven't been adding to as much these days, but Instagram, I've been putting up highlight videos of the best plays from games that I've called. Those of you who have been following the Instagram account, you know I recently posted a video of Isaac Heffes's game winner in the semifinals on Wednesday. That was pretty good. And so, yeah, you can follow me at that link. You can also, if you want to just reach out to me about my services directly, my email address is also in the video description below. So, we are at halftime. Got about 7 minutes before we resume again. And with that, I'm going to take a short break, but I will be right back with the start of the second half. Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan here at Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts for the MIAA 2021 Boys Soccer Division I State Finals between Brookline and Newton North. No score as we head into the half, and I'll be right back. Stay tuned. And I'm back from Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan to shout out to all my watchers throughout the country and throughout the globe, as there were so many I didn't get a chance to shout out. We just got our most recent one from Miss Dashif, watching from Granville, New York. From earlier, Finn Woodman mentioned they're watching from Trondheim, Norway. Harry Graham 07 from Gloucestershire in the UK. From Sandra Bochelle from Manchester, England. From Andy Triedman watching from San Francisco, California, and a shout out to legendary BHS soccer captain Peter PewDiePie Mihalopoulos. And several others. Pete Sisson from Seattle, Washington. Jenny Green from Florida, has family in Alaska and even in Europe watching. Julia Hamza from Anchorage, Alaska. Stephen Velasquez from West Hampton Beach, New York. Brian Kerrigan from Pennsylvania. Todd Pelton from Michigan. Lindsay Mahoney from upstate New York. Dave Kraus, former BHS soccer captain from the class of '02, watching from Texas. I love it. I'll say it a million times. I absolutely love it. We're about to get the second half underway. No score as of yet in this one, which is, you know, honestly, if you were to make a safe bet about how many scores there would have been in the first half between these two teams, no score would have been a safe bet. Brookline has scored 5 goals throughout this postseason. Only one of those goals came in the first half, and it was in the one game that ultimately went into overtime. Meanwhile, for Newton North, they have not scored in regulation since the round of 16. So both teams may be slow starters, but they've been strong finishers. So this half is really going to be one to watch. As now we got another watcher from Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is Chris Hatchett, watching his grandson, co-captain Max Hatchett. And, of course, we also had some comments on the action so far. David Silberg, great work by the goalie. Jenny Green, great defense. And Silberg, here's hoping they turn up the offensive pressure, of course referring to Brookline. And that's an accurate assessment. Brookline has come up with some really heroic defensive stops. You know, chief among them being that stop by Toby Prabhu Schlosser as he was standing in the net, standing just outside the net, and was literally the last possible guy who could have stopped the kick, as they had gotten it past the goalie in a bit of a scrum inside the box, I think off a corner kick, and it was Prabhu Schlosser who ultimately kicked it away. That was a huge effort, and it has kept Brookline in it, no score. Brookline hasn't quite generated the same chances. I don't think the Newton North goalie, Henry Baker, made a single save in the first half, because I don't think he had to. Two teams have switched sides, and Newton North will get the opening possession. 40 minutes on the clock here at Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts, in the boys soccer state finals. Here we go. Pass is lifted up down the near side, goes off ahead. Oh, dangerous chance for number 11, but ultimately booted away and out of bounds by Brookline. That was number 11, Akash Sahadavan, as it's a quick throw in and booted away, collected by Newton North, tapped back to I think that might still be number 16, Hoffman, as it passes over to Nielsen. Now ahead to number 17, Matty Gillen. Couple deflections. It winds up back with Rialto Gennaro. Pass out to the far side to Sahadavan. Kicked into the center, but deflected and taken easily by Curiel. Max Curiel surveying his options. Punts it upfield. A good deflection by Julian Gravero on the defensive effort there. This ball collected by, I believe, Isaac Heffes. And he taps it back to Max Luby. Luby lifts this one into the air, goes off the head of Nielsen, downed by the foot of a Brookline player, now passed from Tyler Mahoney to Ezra Kornmeyer, and now sent across to Max Luby. Luby lifts this one in the air, Hefes is outnumbered, but gets the deflection towards the net. Easily scooped up, though, by Baker. Rolled in, and now they're working up the far side. Long pass, aiming for Hiranandani. Hiranandani can't quite fight through Mahoney. Second unit now coming in. I think this is Oliveira. Oliveira trying to work towards the middle. Sends a pass, finds Gennaro. Back to Oliveira, fires and shoots it high. Newton North putting together a nice stream of passes. Curiel now getting ready for the goal kick. Into the air, off ahead. Tapped and then booted away by Gravero. It's going to go all the way back to Baker. Now rolled in for Nielsen. Nielsen sends it up the far side and out of bounds. From Nick Love's Politics, did anyone discuss all the blonde hair? And it has been discussed before in previous broadcasts, but yeah, I think they're all just bleaching it. I'm not sure. I don't know why, but I'm not gonna pretend I don't love it. As now Gravero passes it over to Mahoney. Mahoney now taps it over to Luby. Luby brings it further upfield. His kick immediately deflected right back. Mahoney takes it and now sends a rolling pass over to Gravero. We have a whistle. And what? What's going on? They're sending one of the Newton North players off the field. And it looks like they're forcing a substitution. Is someone hurt? Or was he ejected? I'm not sure what just happened. If someone else was able to see something on the stream that I wasn't able to see out here, please let me know. I was confused on that one. Gravero passes it ahead to Toby Prabhu Schlosser. Now out to Luby. Luby's got some space, just dribbling with it. Now a pass out to the far end. Now they're trying to gain the edge. Turning back around. Not much room, and they have to pass it all the way back. I think this is Prabhu Schlosser who now passes it back to the far end. And now a launch towards the middle, but it's ultimately over the heads and booted away. Loose ball, kicked by Talasayan. It's deflected, and he has to pass it out to the far end to Gillen. Gillen trying to weave his way through, is collided with by Raudebusch, and it's knocked out of bounds. And the delayed penalty call on Raudebusch for the hard collision with Gillen draws a free kick. An interesting point from Fernando Silva, the player could be bleeding. Because a lot of times in a lot of high school sports, and even in some pro sports, if you're bleeding, you automatically have to be taken out of the game, just as a precaution. Nielsen launches this one into the air, deflected down, now kicked, and wide, and catches the outside of the net. This will be a goal kick. Is Newton north of Newton? Not why. Why are you guys doing this to me, chat? Goal kick for Brookline. Curiel launches this one towards the middle. Off ahead. Off another one. And now Newton North trying to control it. Pass goes ahead to Gennaro. Now to the outside, and now kicked up, looking for Hiranandani. But instead controlled by Brookline. Pass back to Luby. Pass goes ahead, but off the mark, intercepted by Newton North. Now over to Gillen on the near side. Gillen lifts it into the air. Off the head of Mahoney and out. Now controlled by Brookline. I believe this is Kornmeyer lifting it. Nobody there, though, and it's easily taken by Nielsen. Nielsen passes it out to Gillen. Gillen dribbling around. Pass ahead to Gennaro. Tapped over, but cut off by Gravero. Pass was intended for Sahadevan. Gillen throws it in, but oh, I think a second ball rolled onto the field, and so they had to stop the play. Throw in from Gillen goes over Gennaro, and it's booted into the air. Now a couple of deflections. Kulkarni trying to make things happen, but he's cut off by, I believe, Georgiadis. And now a loose ball poked away by Mata and booted into the air by Luby. High bounce. Nielsen deflects it over to, I think, Hoffman. Has kicked ahead a couple of times, recovered by Oliveira, sends a long pass across to Georgiadis. Now sent over to Gillen. And now all the way back to Baker. And now sending it up the far side, they find Oliveira, who passes it back. Now sent back to, I think, Nielsen, who launches it across the field for Gillen. Misses everybody. And now Brookline trying to get control of it. This is Rowan Raudebush, who manages to get a pass back to Julian Gravero. Now to Prabhu Schlosser. Now back to Raudebush. Raudebush launches it, deflects off of Nielsen and booted away by Hoffman. Taken by Oliveira, but then stolen away by Mata. Passed back to Luby. Luby ahead. And now another pass is off the mark from everybody and out of bounds. And Newton North taking over here. Georgiadis sends it back to Nielsen. Or no, that's not Nielsen. As it's now passed over. Newton North working it up the far side. Still no score here in the second half. Pass to the middle to Talasayan. And now a couple passes, and it's deflected out of bounds by Brookline. Throw in for the Tigers, immediately headed by Brookline. Talasayan chases it down, passes back, finds, I'm not quite sure, passed up the line for Oliveira. Now passed back, dribbling around a defender, some open space, pass to Oliveira. Oliveira centering kick, bounces past, wind up and shot, and it goes high. That shot by Sahadevan. Curiel lining up for the goal kick. As this one's launched into the air, deflected. Now booted up. Deflected down and swooping in and taking it is Brookline for a second, but confusion between Hefes and Raudebush, and it's stolen away by Sahadevan. Raudebush gets a little too physical. That might be a delayed penalty. Gennaro now passing for Oliveira, but cut off and booted away by Brookline. No delayed penalty call, and Gillen takes it, but stolen away by Hefes. Hefes touches it back to Raudebush. Raudebush sends it up the line. It's headed away by Talasayan. Out of bounds, Brookline ball. Fernando Silva helping to give us some information here in the chat for the two teams' formations, both running a 3-5-2. That is 3 backs, 5 middies, and 2 strikers, as we got a hard foul now called against Newton North. Brookline sends the free kick right over to Mahoney, and now across the field to Luby. Luby now dribbling with some space, sends a pass up the far side. Now trying to gain the edge. I think that was Max Hatchett, but it was lost out of bounds, Brookline ball. Throw-in goes back. Now kicked ahead, booted away. Gennaro now boots it into the air. Downed by Gravero. Gravero sends a pass, misses Mata, but finds another player. Tapped back for Mata, but stolen away by Gennaro. Pass out to the far side to, I believe, Oliveira. Oliveira passes ahead, and Gennaro gets cut off by Luby and draws the foul. Just over 29 minutes left in regulation. Still no score here at Manning Field, 0-0. Free kick now for Newton North. Towards the box and booted away immediately by Brookline. Deflects off of Gillen. Talassian trying to control it, but Brookline swoops in and takes it. I think that was Kulkarni, but then ripped away by Talassian. Poked away, and after the scrum, it's ultimately booted away by Luby, and then booted right back by Newton North. Off the head, and Gravero controls it. Passes it upfield. Now another scrum for the ball. And Kornmeyer manages to control it and pass it back to Mahoney. And now over to Luby. Luby launches a long kick, finds Heffes. Heffes trying to lead Kulkarni, but pass was slightly wide and communication was off as it was. Baker now rifles it out to the far side. This one's booted up. Rooney heads it. Oliveira takes it, but an offsides call on Oliveira. Luby takes the free kick. It's deflected down by Gennaro, but then kicked back into the air by Brookline. Couple deflections. Stolen away. Controlled by Rooney. Rooney kicks it ahead. Pass finds its target. A touch over to Haranandani. Stopped by Curiel! What a great foot save by Max Curiel. A great pass from Gennaro to Haranandani. And that could have very well been the first score of the game, but Curiel with a fantastic save. That might just be the best save he's made all postseason, as Newton North now trying to work things up the far side. Running out of room, but they're still fighting their way through. Now a scrum for the ball, a player goes down, and we got a foul call against Newton North. Got a player down on the ground, but he's getting up. This is Max Luby. Now this one lifted over to Julian Gravero. Now back to Mahoney. Now Mahoney lifts it out to the far end. I think that's Kulkarni passing it for Heffes. Heffes dribbling with some space. Heffes fires, sails high. Some nice offensive efforts by Brookline as now Rafael Mata checks out in favor of, I think that's Eamon Boschel. And I think that was actually Hatchett, not Kulkarni. I'm not sure. Sometimes a bit hard to tell the jersey numbers under the stadium lights. Pass goes over to Georgiadis. Georgiadis sends it across. Finds his target. Now a tap over, but stolen by Brookline. Brookline trying to work it. That's Boschel, who decides to pass it back to Luby. Luby kicks it back to Mahoney. Now Mahoney over to Gravero. Now up the near side to Raudebusch, back to Gravero. Gravero dribbling, gets slid out from under him, and the ball is then deflected out of bounds. Brookline ball. Throw in from Raudebusch, tapped back to Raudebusch. Raudebusch's kick is intercepted and stolen away, and then the player is tripped up from behind. That was number 19, Rob Nicolazzo. Free kick is quickly sent from Gillen back to Georgiadis. Georgiadis sends it over to the center back, Nielsen. Nielsen dribbles and sends a pass out to the far side to, I want to say, Hoffman. Hoffman up the line to Oliveira. Give and go, back to Oliveira. Oliveira, centering kick headed away by Mahoney. Talasayan sends it back to Georgiadis. Georgiadis surveys, floats one up. Cut off and kicked away by Mahoney, I believe. And now fighting through, but not quite enough. Swooping in and taking it was Nicolazzo. Gets deflected back to Nielsen. Nielsen kicks it back in. A tap over. Shot! Saving off the bar. Recovered. And that one's in. Newton North is first on the board. A great save by Max Curiel, but then too juicy a rebound. And it was buried by Rialto Janeiro. One nothing. Now the Newton North lead with 23.5 minutes left in regulation. Prabhu Schlosser lifts one. Brookline trying to make things happen. They try and touch pass ahead, but it's booted away by Nielsen. Goes back to Prabhu Schlosser. Sends a pass ahead. Give and go to Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser sends it to the middle, skips past a couple players, and ultimately booted away by the Tigers. Covered by Brookline. Pass is off the mark. Intercepted easily by Talasayan. Sent out to the near side. This is Nicolazzo, who couldn't get through the defense. Pass goes to Prabhu Schlosser. His kick intercepted and kicked away. Now loose ball being fought for between Nicolazzo and Kornmeyer, and they say it went off Kornmeyer. So the goal by Rialto Janeiro off the rebound gives Newton North the 1-0 lead right now. Passes back and forth. It goes back to Georgiadis. Georgiadis kicks it up. And now passed over to Gillen. Back to Georgiadis. Now ahead, it deflects off the head of Janeiro, and it's taken away by Brookline. Pass now goes back to Gravero. And now over to Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it away to Luby. Luby kicks it, finds Kulkarni. Kulkarni tries to lead a teammate down the far side, but it's deflected away by the Newton North defense. Throw in coming for Brookline. It's downed. And now pass for Mata. Mata's kick deflects out of bounds. That's going to be a corner kick for Brookline. Brookline, their first corner kick of the day, trying to make something happen. They trail 1-0. Kick into the air, it curves, and it's batted away. Ultimately cleared out. Deflected and taken by Gravero. Gravero trying to turn around, but it's poked away. Stolen by Newton North. Number 8 sends a leading pass. This could be potentially dangerous. Curiel rushes out of the box to kick it away and gets it to Raudebusch. Raudebusch over to Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser with pressure from behind. He gets the ball away and no foul call. As Gillen now lifts it, and it is scooped up by Curiel. Throws it over to Luby. Luby lifts it high. Off ahead. And now off and controlled by Heffes. Heffes tries to send a pass, cut off again. And put it into the air. Bounces over Luby. Gennaro controls it. Ball's lost out of bounds. Brookline ball. Good efforts by Luby. From Nat, Jesse, did you enjoy UMass? I mean, yes. Yeah, I enjoyed going to college. It was nice. Throw in now for Brookline. Brookline trying to work it up the far side, out of bounds again. About 19 minutes left in this contest. Newton North leads 1-0. And fighting through. Brookline trying to force their way, but it's kicked away from Mata. Goes back. Now a launched kick. Misses well wide. I believe that was Raudebusch who took that shot there, but off the mark. Newton North now takes over. Pass over to Talasayan. His pass intercepted. It deflects right to, I believe, Kulkarni. Now trying to work that edge. And the ball is forced out of bounds, and it goes to Newton North. No foul call on that one. Throw in is kicked and deflected. This will be a goal kick for the Tigers. A little less than 18 minutes left in the state finals here. Newton North leads Brookline 1-0. Baker boots this one off ahead. It's now being chased after by Boschel, and he can't get there first. Almost a dangerous chance from Eamon Boschel, but it got booted away the last minute by Andrew Nielsen. Now after a scrum for the ball, Newton North tries to kick it away, taken back by Brookline. Now a kick deflected. Loose ball, turnaround kick, nothing doing, no foul call, and it's booted away by Newton North. Brookline wanted that call something awful. Gravero now kicks it. Now booted away by Newton North, chased down by Mahoney. Ball goes back to Mahoney. Now over to Gravero. Am I crazy or is my audio fading out as this ball's deflected out of bounds? And now, what? Why now? And, okay, test. Test. Oh, test. Test. Oh, my goodness. Test. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. My audio kind of, I don't know what happened, but back in business now. After that, it's out of bounds, Newton North ball. Gillen throws it in. Goes over everybody, and it's booted away. Goes to Kulkarni, but stolen away. Passed back to Talasayan. Now back to Nielsen. Now out to the far side to Hoffman. Up the line to Oliveira. Oliveira now dribbling, trying to get around Luby. He gets around Luby. Now loose ball, dangerous, and finally poked away by Brookline. Now upfield and booted away again by Nielsen. Deflects from Rooney. Another deflection. Rooney trying to take it back. Now after a collision on the ball in the air, it's booted upfield by, I want to say, MIAA, and it's lost out of bounds. Throw in up the line. This is Oliveira trying to work his way through, but Mahoney comes in as backup, and together he and Luby put an end to that one. Passed out to the far side to MIAA, now back to Luby. Luby kicks it ahead, stopped by Rooney. Rooney now boots it up to Oliveira. Oliveira's kick is deflected, recovered by Newton North and floated up, but it's going to be chased down by Mahoney, and instead Curiel will take it. Actually, I think they let it go out of bounds because they're lining up for a goal kick. Curiel boots it towards midfield. Bounce, collected for a second, but then deflected away by Nielsen. Now scrumming for the ball again. And we got a foul call against Newton North. Free kick will now be taken by Rowan Raudebush. Just over 13 minutes left. Newton North leads 1-0 over Brookline. Raudebush sends it towards the box. Off ahead. Kept in bounds and kicked back towards the middle by Brookline, but too many orange shirts in there, and it's booted away. Recovered, fired, and fired high. Baker with the goal kick. Sends it over to Nielsen. Nielsen kicks it upfield. Bit of a hard collision. That's going to be a foul call against Luby. Kick from Nielsen towards the box. Off ahead. And Newton North can't keep it in bounds. This will be a goal kick. From Todd Pelton, a lot of time left, and that is true. We got 12 minutes still left. Brookline trailing Newton North 1-0. They need to get one in the back of the net if they're going to get back into this one. Goal kick from Curiel. Bounces off the head of Gillen. Off another head. Heffis tried to tap it, and he drew the foul. Good draw by Isaac Heffis. Heffis a little slow to get up, but he will fight on here. Free kick looks like it's going to be taken by Luby from inside the 30-yard line. Fired by Luby. Skips in and deflects out. Tapped back for Luby. Tapped back and booted away. Mahoney heads it. Skips past Gravero and goes to Gennaro. Gennaro passes. Finds his target. And that pass is off the mark. Intercepted by Brookline. And now they work up the far side. Bring in some speed. Pass ahead, finds a target, now taps back out. And I think Brookline lost it out of bounds. Either that or were they called for offsides or a penalty, I guess? Throw in, deflected. And now taken by Brookline. Pass, finds the target. They send it back. I think that's Kornmeyer now sending it out to the near end to Raudebusch. Raudebusch can't get through both defenders, and it's stolen away, and it goes to Gillen. And a foul call now on Gravero, a little too aggressive in his coverage against Nico Lazo. Now Nielsen lining up for the free kick. And we've got a timeout called. Nine minutes and 19 seconds left in this one. Newton North 1, Brookline 0. If the score remains the same, Newton North will be on its way to a state title. Brookline hoping to put a stop to that, but they'll need to score in the next 9 minutes and change if they're going to, at bare minimum, send this game into overtime. Now coming out of the timeout again, 9 minutes and 19 seconds. Andrew Nielsen coming in for the free kick for Newton North as they lead Brookline 1-0 here in the state finals. Nielsen boots it towards the box, and it's scooped up by Curiel. Curiel's kick is deflected and controlled by Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser sends a pass ahead, skips past, but finds a target. And now sent out to the far side. Brookline trying to gain the edge. Centering kick. Headed. And it's easily taken by Baker. That was Max Luby now operating on the offense, who almost headed that one in. As this kick is launched. And now chased down, I believe, by Prabhu Schlosser. A couple passes, and it goes to Mahoney. Mahoney dribbling in open space. Now trying to lift it down the far side. Again, Brookline trying to gain the edge. A centering kick, a kick by, I believe, Cole Carney, but he couldn't get enough of it. Scooped up. Baker boots this one high in the air. Now kicked back by, I believe, Kornmeyer. Deflected down. Or, no, my mistake. Not quite Kornmeyer, but it is lost out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball. Less than 8 minutes left. Brookline trying to tie this one up. Throw in. Off ahead and out of bounds. I think they're going to say last touch by Newton North. It'll be a goal kick. Corner kick now for Brookline. They want to make things happen. Here's the signal. Booted into the air. Headed straight up. Bounces back. Kick! Deflected away! Not sure quite what that bounced off of. That was a hard kick from, I think, Heffes that almost went in. Now stolen away and booted upfield by Newton North out of bounds. Brookline trying to make things happen. Go towards the middle. Shot in! Oh my gosh, we're tied! What a missile of a shot! Toby Prabhu Schlosser. The co-captain who made the incredible goal-stopping deflection in the first half now ties us up at 1 apiece. It's a whole new ball game, folks. We're tied at 1 apiece. Less than 7 minutes left in regulation, and Newton North trying to work up the far side. They're trying to put an attack together. Kick is deflected and booted away by Brookline. Ball lost out of bounds. Brookline with the throw-in now. Up the line. Up in the air, it deflects. Now Newton North passing out to Nico Lazo, but stolen away by Gravero. Gravero kicks it up the line. Almost finds a target, deflects away, but still taken by Brookline. Boschel boots it up, finds his man. That was Heffes, but I think they called offsides on Heffes. Slightly ahead of his defender there, even though the ball was behind him. Nielsen. And Nielsen boots it, deflected. Gennaro has it. Gennaro scores 1 goal already, but this one poked away by Mahoney. Mahoney now a touch pass. Finds a teammate. I think that was Prabhu Schlosser who kicked that one into the air. Stolen away by Newton North. And now Newton North just patiently waiting to make things happen as Nielsen sends it over to Georgiadis. Georgiadis sends it up the near side. Kept in by Nico Lazo. Nico Lazo taps it back to, I think that's number 49, who then passes it back to Georgiadis. We've got an injured player down now. This is a Brookline player. And they're sending the trainer out. Things just starting to get exciting now, as we're all squared, and that is Oscar Kulkarni, who is coming off hurt for Brookline. Coming back in to replace him, I believe, is number 5, Max Hatchett. Now a pass over to number 49, Thomas Rooney, and now pass back to Georgiadis. Pass to the middle to Talasayan, goes right back to Georgiadis. Now over to Nielsen. Nielsen sends it over to the far side, deflects off ahead and off a foot, and now booted up into the air by Newton North. Off ahead again, I think that was Mata who deflected that one. And now off the kicks, it deflects into open space. Still being scrummed for. I think that's Kornmeyer who just kicked it. Now Raudebusch pokes it away. It's taken by Boschel. Boschel passes over, finds his target, but it's ripped away from Prabhu Schlosser by Gennaro. Gennaro's pass, however, intercepted by Brookline and taken away. Dribbling into space, running out of room, and the ball is lost. It's picked up by Hiranandani. Pass goes back to Talasayan. Talasayan passes over for Gennaro. Gennaro fires, save, Curiel. Now a juicy rebound, they pass to the middle. It's deflected. Brookline trying to clear it out of there, and they get the favorable out-of-bounds deflection. Max Curiel's efforts cannot be undermined here in this game. He's made some fantastic saves. This throw-in goes to Raudebusch. Raudebusch trying to work his way through. He's got the ball. Dribbling towards the middle. He's cut off by Talasayan. He gets the ball away, but not without committing a foul. Nielsen boots this one high in the air. Poked away by Curiel, but now a dangerous centering kick is immediately cut off by Brookline and booted out of there. Now this ball is going to bounce out of bounds. It'll be Brookline ball. Brookline bringing the quick throw in, thrown in for Hatchett, but he's cut off and it's wrestled away by, I believe, Hoffman. Kick goes to Oliveira. Oliveira tries to head it ahead, but it's instead stolen by Gravero. Gravero pass off the mark, kicked away. Mahoney's back there. He heads it. Now collected by Prabhu Schlosser. He gets pushed from behind by Gennaro, and Gennaro pokes it away, but Curiel swoops in and boots it across midfield. Off the head of a Tiger, and now Bochel takes it. Eamon Bochel now dribbling with some space. Passes to an open teammate, trying to work his way through. Still fighting, breakaway, chance, saved by Baker. Oh, that one blew out my mic, that's for sure. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. What a big chance for Brookline. I think that was Isaac Heffes who almost scored the go-ahead. Now this one booted across midfield. Weird deflection. Now swooping in and taking it is Gennaro. Gennaro fires, punched away by Curiel, and this will be a corner kick. We are in stoppage time. 5 minutes left is what the clock says, but that clock is not moving. It is up to the officials how much time we got until overtime, or the end of this game should someone score here. Big chance for Newton North. Coming towards the box, deflects away, a kick deflected again. The big wall of Rowan Raudebush off of those kicks from Oliveira. It'll be another corner kick for Newton North. This one coming in, deflects away, and now Brookline draws a foul and they can clear it out. So in stoppage time here in the second half of the boys soccer Division I state final, we're all squared at 1 apiece. Now a pass up the line, now to the middle. Kicked back to Mahoney. Mahoney kicks it ahead to, I believe, Prabhu Schlosser, and now out to Gravero. Gravero sends it to the middle, finds his man, that's Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer sending a long pass, cut off by Georgiadis. Georgiadis trying to dribble his way through, and there's your whistles for the end of regulation. Here comes that magic word, folks. We are going indeed to overtime. 1-1 the score. Toby Prabhu Schlosser, the hero for Brookline on both sides of the ball, really. He had that great defensive stop in the first half, right at the goal line. And then in the second half, launched an absolute missile of a kick. Of course, the first goal of the game came from Newton North on a rebound score by number 7, Rialto Gennaro. And so this is where we now are. 2 halves of soccer have proven to not be enough. We will need overtime. From David Silberg, what a game. Indeed. That's really all that needs to be said. I mean, so much could be said about the fantastic efforts we've seen from both sides, the great defensive stops, the great shots, and of course the great scores. But what are the OT rules in MIAA? I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure it is 2 overtime periods and then penalty kicks. Sudden death, I believe, is how this is working.
15-minute overtimes, sudden death, penalty kicks after 2 of them.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. So someone very helpful just came in and told me how the overtime rules work. 15-minute overtime periods. It's sudden death, so next score wins. If no one scores after 2 15-minute overtime periods, then we go into penalty kicks. So to answer the question proposed by Steven Velasquez, and a question that probably a lot of people were asking, to be quite honest, that's how overtime is going to work here today. From Ken Berman, what number is Raudebush? Rowan Raudebush is number 3 for Brookline. And Roshan Patel, from what I've been told, it's 15-minute overtime periods, not 10. But other than that, you're absolutely correct. Whew. Oh, boy. For Newton North, this will be the 3rd straight playoff game of theirs that will go into extra time, as they won their Elite 8 contest via penalty kicks and won their Final Four contest in overtime. For Brookline, this will be their 2nd extra period contest in the last 3 games, as they went to overtime against St. John's Prep, which of course ended with the game-winning kick by Eamon Boschel. No worries, Roshan. Like I said, you got it like 90% right, and you're just out here trying to help. So all good, man, all good. From Silberg, the question, is it sudden death or do you play out the period? It is sudden death. Next score will win unless there's no scores after the 2 15-minute overtime periods, in which case we go to penalty kicks. From Plumeria Cuttlefish, excellent goalkeepers on both sides, absolutely. You know, Baker hasn't had to make a lot of great stops, but he's made quite a few. From Todd Pelton, yes, golden goal, next score wins. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that's what that means. We're underway. It's overtime. Newton North gets the first possession, and they lift it right out of bounds. Throw in coming from Gravero. Tapped right back. Gravero trying to work it. It's stolen away by Newton North. Coming around, they try and lift it into the box, but not enough people there. Taken easily by Curiel. The hero could come from either side. It could come from anywhere, well, say for players currently on the bench. This one's headed up by, I believe, Heffes and ultimately booted away, cut off by Boschel. Boschel, the most recent overtime hero for Brookline, he passes it ahead to Heffes. Heffes fighting off several defenders and passes it back to Boschel. Boschel dribbles around, looking, pass misses Heffes, booted away by Newton North, but cut off by Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser over to Boschel, back to Prabhu Schlosser, and now all the way back to Mahoney. Now over to Gravero. Now to Prabhu Schlosser. Now ahead, and trying to fight his way through was, I think, Kulkarni, either Kulkarni or Mata, and a foul is now called. Free kick for Newton North. Nielsen lining up for the free kick for the Tigers. Into the air this one goes. Deflects towards the box, and Curiel comes in and gets it. Just over 13 minutes on the clock here in the first overtime period, as this one skips right to Talasayan, but it touches his hand. That's a handball call on Newton North. This will be a free kick for Brookline. Prabhu Schlosser quickly sends the free kick over to Gravero. Gravero sends it back to Prabhu Schlosser. Newton North playing back. Prabhu Schlosser lifts it, headed down, skips past Heffes, and it's booted away. Headed down, finds Nico Lazo. Nico Lazo fighting through, but he's got to chase after that loose ball. Keeps it in bounds. Now kicks it towards the middle. There's Hiranandani, but his header's deflected. Heads back down anyway, and now scooped up by Curiel. I think that was Prabhu Schlosser again, or no, it was Max Luby who got the deflection there. Long clearing kick by Brookline. Off the head, taken by Heffes. Heffes taps it over for Kulkarni. Kulkarni trying to fight through, can't do it. Stolen away. Oliveira now with the ball. Oliveira to the middle. Finds his target. Throw pass aimed at Hiranandani, but cut off by Gravero. And now Luby with the ball. Luby boots it up for Heffes. Heffes heads it ahead of himself. Now a touch from his foot. Isaac Heffes. It cannot control it for long enough. Stolen away by, I believe, Georgiadis. And the keeper, Baker, boots it out of bounds. Oh, a deflection for Brookline. Tap through, offsides. The Brookline crowd started to celebrate for a second, but the offsides call meant nothing doing for the Warriors on that attempt. Very few people in the crowd sitting here at Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts. As you might be able to see in the corner of your view, they are all standing. Newton North trying to make things happen. That's Gennaro who lifts it. Headed by, I believe, Raudebush. Headed back, and now collected by, I think, Kornmeyer. Pass to Raudebush. Now back to Gravero. Gravero kicks it upfield. Deflected. Now taken by, I believe, Heffes. Or no, Boschel, my mistake. Boschel passes it back to Luby. Luby lifts it up. This one's going to Heffes. Heffes controls it. Fends off the defenders. Now lifts one towards the box. Streaking in is a Brookline player. Tries to center kick, big chance! And deflected out of bounds. This will be a corner. Oh my goodness, that was such a huge chance for Brookline there. I think that was, I'm not entirely sure, that might have been Raudebush. Or no, Kornmeyer. That was Kornmeyer who almost had it. And now we've got a corner kick for Brookline. Big chance towards the middle. Caught by Baker. This ball rolled in and then lifted. Goes all the way down to Mahoney. Mahoney passes over to Gravero. Gravero back to Mahoney. Mahoney's pass to Kornmeyer, now back. And now over to Prabhu Schlosser, now back to Gravero. Now across the field to Luby. Luby dribbling, he's got space to work, bringing it across midfield. Now lifts it into the air, and it's just going to fly right to Baker. Now Newton North trying to work it up the far side. Pass cut off by Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser going up the far side. Passes over. Finds an open teammate. Shot deflected. That shot came from Heffes. And now after a couple deflections, Newton North trying to make a race for it. And that is going to be a foul call against Luby as he collided hard with Will Rooney. Oh, that's a yellow card. They carded Luby. That's a tough loss for the Brookline roster. Max Luby, a big defensive mainstay for this Brookline squad. Now the free kick from Nielsen towards the box. Headed out by Brookline. Deflected back in, but then booted out by Boschel. Talasayan trying to control it, but lost control of it. Kulkarni chases it down, but then it's poked away by Talasayan. And then Kulkarni wrestles it back, and it's lost out of bounds. Throw in now for Newton North. 7.5 minutes left in the first overtime period. This throw-in goes right towards the box, headed straight up in the air, deflects down and out of bounds, and they're going to say corner kick Newton North. Big chance for the Tigers with just under 7 minutes left in this first overtime period. We're all squared at 1 apiece. Next goal wins. Lifts into the air. Booted away by, I think, Heffis. Tapped back to Heffis. He kicks it ahead. Now booted out of bounds. Brookline ball. Or no, that wasn't Heffis. That was Mata. Excuse me. The Here We Go Brookline chants coming on strong here at Manning Field as Rowan Raudebush checks out. Or no, doesn't check out. Max Salubi checks back in, having served his penalty. Throw in to Mata. Mata just controlling it. Pass. Back and forth. Prabhu Schlosser trying to go up the edge, and it's knocked out of bounds. Throw in, tapped back to Kornmeyer, now to the middle. Passed out to Gravero, now over to Mahoney. Mahoney sends it ahead to Mata. Mata lifts it. Flex off ahead. They're trying to set it up, but they couldn't. Newton North boots it away. Gravero takes it. Gravero coming around the edge. Sends a pass up the line. Nobody there. Intercepted by Newton North. Kick skips past Gravero. I think that's Haran and Donnie who just kicked it into the air. And now Newton North trying to control it. Kulkarni swoops in and knocks it away, but it goes right to Haran and Donnie. Haran and Donnie breaks through the defense. He's coming in. Centering kick for Gennaro. Saved by Curiel. Big shot now. Oh, that one goes high and wide. Big effort by Max Curiel. What a day he's having. Possibly the game of his career right now. 4.5 minutes left here in the first overtime period. We still do not have a winner. Curiel boots this one off the head of Heffis. Now Mata. Pass goes back to Luby. Luby lifts it. Foot race to the ball. Nielsen heads it. Kulkarni swoops in. Kulkarni trying to fight for it, but he was outnumbered, and it's booted away by Hoffman. Off the head of Rooney. Now Gennaro boots it ahead. Couple deflections. Mahoney. Now dribbling with it. Mahoney dribbling around. Pass to Bochelle. Now back to Luby. Luby back to Bochelle. Bochelle decides to go forward. Sends a pass over to Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser lifts this one. Not enough Brookline players there, and Baker boots it away. Headed back down by Brookline, and we got a foul call against Newton North. This will be a free kick for Brookline from around midfield, as they're going to make, I think that's Raudebush. They make him check out just for protocols, make sure he's okay. I believe this is, this is Luby, Max Luby taking the free kick from just beyond midfield. Launches it high, deflects, recovered by Brookline, passed out to the edge to Kornmeyer. Kornmeyer sends one towards the box, deflected out. And now Gennaro controls the ball, passes out to Oliveira, who lets it go down the edge. Now the pass Goes to Haranandani. He got a deflection away for a second, but it's chased down by Luby and kicked over to Curiel, who boots it away, but stopped by Rooney. Rooney trying to fight his way through. Rooney trying to get around one last defender. That's Gravero. Rooney fights his way through. Saved by Curiel. Another corner kick for Newton North. Clock is frozen at 2 minutes. We are in stoppage time of the first overtime. Corner kick coming in, headed out by Brookline. Swooping in and kicking it ahead and out of bounds, Newton North ball. Or no, they're going to call a foul on Newton North. Gravero sends the free kick over to Mahoney. And we got a whistle. Okay, now we're properly in action here. Gravero passes it to Mahoney. Now over to Luby. Luby now launches it. Deflection. And booted away by Newton North. Now they try and work it up the far side. Stolen away by Brookline. Now dribbling through. Fending off the defenders. And drawing a foul is Toby Prabhu Schlosser. Free kick now for Brookline from about the 35-yard line. This one, I believe, is being taken by Max Luby again. Luby launches this one, coming in. Caught by Baker. I believe that was Bo Shell who was trying to track the ball there. As this one is now booted towards midfield. Deflects. Chase down pass, deflected. Haranandani trying to control it, and it's kicked out of bounds. Still in stoppage time here in the first overtime. We're all tied at 1 apiece, and there's your whistle for the first overtime period. After 1 overtime, we are still tied at 1 apiece. A number of big chances for both teams, but neither of them can capitalize due to some great defensive efforts. Elizabeth Differ in the live chat says, amazing game by Newton North and BHS. Regardless of ending, all should leave this field with their heads held high. Be proud and thank you. Could not agree more. What a game this has been. And then, of course, from Cold Pop, American football field, not real football field, poor, and film better, and just being critical. And you know what? Fair. I'm hoping that as I go on with this, I'll be able to, maybe get a higher quality camera, maybe a better tripod. I'm just starting this operation out, and hopefully as time goes, as I get more experience, I imagine I'll get a little better at the juggling of camera work and commentary at the same time. So, no worries. Even if you're just being critical, it's not without merit. But as it is, we're about to head to second overtime here at Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts. Remember, if they're first off, golden goal, next goal wins. If there is no goal, however, we will go to penalty kicks. From Bernay, are you filming while commentating? Yes. Yes, I am. That's how I do. And so many kind words now flowing in. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And it looks like Brookline's going to get the opening possession for second overtime as Newton North got the opening for the first. Eamon Boschel in the middle, kicking us underway. Here we go. Launched by Prabhu Schlosser. Off the head of a Newton North defender. It's being chased down by Ezra Kornmeyer, and he decides to box it out and let it go out of bounds. Brookline ball. Throw in down the line, and it's lost out of bounds. I think that was Kulkarni who tried down that one, but just couldn't get a good handle on it. Now Newton North throwing it in. Deflected out of bounds by Brookline. It stays with Newton North. Now a couple of deflections around midfield stolen by Newton North. And almost stolen by Kulkarni. Number 8 fights it off, but not enough. Kulkarni takes it away. Oscar Kulkarni dribbling with it, tries a pass, cut off and kicked away by Nielsen. Now controlled. A pass to the middle, off the mark, but finds a target. Now tapped over, tapped back, and booted away by, I believe, Gravero. Off the side of the foot. A bunch of headers. Now booted back in by Georgiadis. And now he sends it over to the far end. He was looking for number 11, but it's taken away by Gravero. Now this one is booted away by, I think, Mata, and it's controlled by Brookline, fending off the defender. Now a long pass going through for Kulkarni. Kulkarni trying to take it, but he doesn't get there first. It's kicked away by Newton North. Brookline starting on the attack again, trying to gain the edge. They gain the edge. Centering kick towards the middle, caught by Baker. I think some of the Brookline fans were trying to say that the keeper was across the line, but no call there. And after a game like this, I'm not sure you'd want it to end that way. Brookline now trying to get set. Pass goes back to Gravero. Now over to Mahoney. Mahoney passes it out to Luby. Luby trying to break through. Too many orange shirts taken away. Attempted pass intercepted back to Brookline. Now coming up field. Pass to the middle. Finds Boschel. Boschel over to Prabhu Schlosser. Now over to Gravero. Back to Prabhu Schlosser. And now back to Gravero. Now ahead, pass back to Gravero. Gravero finding an opening, taps it, leading. He's got an open teammate. Centering kick is deflected, trying to take it back. Now trying to work his way around. I believe that's Kulkarni who just drew that out of bounds for the corner. That was either, or no, I think that might have actually been, that was either Kulkarni or Kornmeyer. I think it was Kulkarni. So it's Kulkarni lining up for the corner kick. He sends a low one in, and Gravero whiffs on it, and it's taken by Newton North. They're trying to rush it upfield. This is Oliveira trying to break through. He's now surrounded, tries to poke it through. It's deflected. sent back to Oliveira. Oliveira again surrounded, stolen away by Prabhu Schlosser, but they're going to call a foul on Prabhu Schlosser. Free kick now coming for Newton North. Having a hard time seeing exactly who is taking this kick. It's heading towards the box and immediately booted away by Gravero. Now a pass over to number 8. He lifts it into the box. Dangerous! Deflected away and wrestled away by Brookline. And now that's going to be a foul call on Brookline. This is going to be a close free kick. Free kick coming for Newton North. 9.5 minutes left in the second overtime. This kick will be coming from about the 15-yard line. Big chance for Newton North. They launch the kick, and it goes high and off the... I think that actually went off of one of the field goal bars. One of the uprights. I'm not sure. It might have just bounced off the fence, but either way, high and wide, no good. This will be a goal kick for Curiel. Curiel boots it. Off the head. Off another head. Goes back to Gravero, who heads it. Now swooping in and taking it is Newton North. I believe that was Talasayan, who draws the out-of-bounds deflection. Throw in here. Couple deflections. Couple more. Deflects back out. Pass goes across the field. And that kick is deflected back out, down now by Kulkarni. He tries to kick it upfield, but doesn't get it cleanly. Couple deflections now, and now it's booted away by Nielsen out of bounds. Brookline ball. 8 minutes left now in second overtime. Brookline quickly throws it in, and Gravero passes it away to Mahoney. And we got a whistle. What? What is happening here? Oh, I think they called a throw-in violation on Brookline, and so now it is Newton North ball. Throw in. Couple deflections, and Newton North loses it out of bounds. This will go back to Brookline. Throw in. Deflects back. Big chance. And that kick curves well wide. And they're going to try and keep it in bounds. Newton North keeps it in bounds. Kick towards the middle. Dangerous, but ultimately booted out. Now a couple back and forth, and finally Brookline boots it away. It's headed back, but recovered by Brookline. Now Brookline dribbling with it. Coming around, I think this is Heffis. Heffis coming around, sends a pass, leading for a teammate. Big chance, and his sliding tackle takes him out. And they're going to call for a corner kick. Corner kick for Brookline. 6.5 minutes left here in the second overtime. Up in the air it goes. Over everybody and out of bounds. So many players grouping around that ball in one spot. But ultimately just went too high. 6 minutes left in the second overtime. Remember, if we get no score in the next 6 minutes, we go to penalty kicks. Bounces, now off ahead, and now lost out of bounds. In the battle between Gillen and Mata. Throw in will now come from Gravero. He sends it to Mata, who taps it back for Gravero, who wasn't quite expecting it. Ball still manages to go upfield to Boschel, who tries to send it to the middle, but it's taken by Talasayan. Sent back to Nielsen. Nielsen down to the far end. Dribbling up that far end and cut off. And out of bounds, Brookline ball. Still one apiece here in the second overtime. This is a free kick for Brookline. Boschel passes it over. Now a long leading kick. And it's scooped up by Baker. Less than 5 minutes left here in the second overtime, as that one is cut off and a foul call goes against Will Rooney. Free kick for Brookline. This is Isaac Heffes. Lining up for this free kick for the Warriors. Just over 4 minutes left. Into the air it goes. Off ahead and wide. Baker now lining up for the goal kick. Sends it in to Georgiadis. Now over to Gillen. Gillen sends it upfield, but it's downed by Gravero. Gravero kicks it towards the middle, finds Prabhu Schlosser. Prabhu Schlosser dribbling around, runs out of room and deflects ahead and is booted away. Now, I think that's Gennaro who passed it out to the far end. Now pass skips past, but booted away by Mahoney. Newton North trying to recover it. They pass it back. Now pass back ahead, finds a target. I think that's Haran and Donnie. His pass intercepted by Heffes. Heffes fakes. Now towards the middle. Now kick down to the far end. Finds his target. Now Brookline trying to gain the edge on the far side. Fakes. Centering kick is booted away by Nielsen. Now off ahead. And now Gennaro with it. Out to the far side. Kicked ahead. This one goes back to Gravero. Gravero pass out to Mata. Mata boots this one into the air. Off ahead. Now Gillen takes it. Passes to the middle to Rooney. Rooney dribbling. Lifts one. Now chasing it down. I think it's Haran and Donnie. Pass back to Oliveira. Oliveira working towards the middle, now fires. Oh, couldn't quite deflect that one. I believe that was Gennaro who almost had it. But instead, a goal kick for Brookline. Now 2 minutes on the clock here in the second overtime, and I believe we are now indeed in stoppage time for overtime number 2. If there's no score in the next couple minutes, we're heading to penalty kicks. Big chance for Brookline, though, a long leaving pass. Kick in! Brookline wins! Stoppage time in overtime number 2. And Brookline comes through. What a dramatic finish. I don't believe it. Unbelievable. Oh my gosh. It all happened so fast. I don't think I even saw who scored it. I know Gravero got the assist. As now, sorry, my mic got cut out again, so just going to leave it on my desktop mic for a second as we celebrate the walk-off victory for Brookline High School. 2-1 the final score, and the Brookline High Warriors are the 2021 MIAA Division I state champions. Yep, my mic is completely shut down, so I'm just going to leave it here. You guys can enjoy the background music as well as the loud crowd. What an absolutely wild finish. Absolutely no words. The only thing I wish is I'm struggling to identify who that was. If there's anyone in chat who managed to recognize who got that game winner, that absolute goal of the year there. I know the assist goes to number 22, Julian Gravero. But wow. Two to one, the final score. The Brookline High Warriors, starting from the 9th seed and marching all the way to the state championship. The double overtime win over local rival Newton North. But you know what? You got to give respect to both teams here. What a game this was. What an absolute thriller. Absolutely amazing. And we're going to stick here because we know we've got a trophy presentation coming up. Now we're getting ready for the trophy presentation. We got one source saying it was Isaac Heffes who scored the game winner. I'm going to try and see if I can look back on my own video, see if I'm going to try and do some detective work here as we got the trophy presentation coming out. We can enjoy that real well. But, wow. Let's see if I can... Alright, I'm going to see if I can chase down a replay of that game winner. Absolutely unreal. Absolutely amazing.
Trophy is back. Please come forward and accept the 2021 state Division I boys soccer championship game.
As now the Brookline High captains are the first out to receive the state championship trophy. Those co-captains, Max Hatchett, Evan Gattel, Toby Prabhu Schlosser, and Tyler Mahoney. Okay, I'm looking at the replay. Big kick from Gravero, and now big score, and I think that was Isaac Peppis as well. Unfortunately, I don't have replay as technology available to me, but you can go back. You can go back and watch it within your own stream. Wow. 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 It started off as a goal kick sequence. We had just entered stoppage time for the double overtime. It was deflected down by Newton North. Gravero swooped in and just booted it. It was a long boot. And then, coming in, I really do think this is, that is Isaac Heffes. Isaac Heffes, the game-winning goal for Brookline. I'm sure it'll be confirmed properly by the Brookline stat keepers later, but for right now I'm saying it. Isaac Heffes, the game-winning goal off the assist from Julian Gravero. And now the Brookline High Warriors get to come out and celebrate with their fans, medals around their necks, big trophy in hands. How about that for an ending? I almost don't even know what to say at this point after a game like that. Big hugs for the keeper, Max Curiel, very well deserved. What an absolute game he had. You know, he is among the senior class of 2022. This was the last game of his high school soccer career. Easily the best of his career. And with that in mind, I'll just read off the names once more of your 2021 MIAA Division I Boys Soccer State Champions, the Brookline High Warriors. Going through the entire roster, a senior number 2, Maxwell Blaney. A senior number 3, Rowan Raudebush. A sophomore number 4, Eamon Bochelle. A senior co-captain number 5, Max Hatchett. A senior number 6, Benjamin Levy. A senior co-captain number 7, Evan Gattel. A senior number 8, Charlie Silverman. A senior number 9, Ezra Kornmeyer. A senior co-captain number 10, Toby Prabhu Schlosser. A senior number 11, Raphael Mata. A senior co-captain number 12, Tyler Mahoney. A sophomore number 13, Henry Ames. A junior number 14, Taj Horowitz. A senior number 15, Colin Lakaya. A junior number 16, Max Luby. A junior number 17, Toshiki Kobayashi. A junior number 18, Sam King. A junior, number 19, Oscar Kulkarni. A sophomore, number 20, Oliver Stern. A senior, number 21, Isaac Heffes. A junior, number 22, Julian Gravero. A sophomore, number 26, A. Sebastian Cuervo. A sophomore, number 27, Sebastian Spinelli. A junior, number 28, Ellery Nestler. A junior, number 32, Nico Sever Walter. I think it was number 21, but I'm not sure. A junior, number 61, Oscar Applebaum. A sophomore, number 63, Leo Ansari. A junior, number 66, Ethan Ghosh. A sophomore, number 68, Danny Dokov. And then the keepers, a senior, number 29, Daniel Mickelson. A sophomore, number 36, Jackson McGee. A junior, number 79, Liam Sheldon. And finally, a senior, number 99, Max Curiel, the head coach of the state champion Brookline High Warriors is Kyle Bolu Jones. I want to thank you all so much for tuning in today. What a thrilling contest it has been. Brookline seemed like they had dug themselves into a hole they wouldn't be able to get out of early on. After a scoreless first half, Newton North took a lot of the momentum in the second half, scored ultimately on a rebound goal by number 7, Rialto Gennaro, and took a 1-0 lead that they took deep into that second half. But with less than 10 minutes left in their season, it was number 10, the senior co-captain, Toby Prabhu Schlosser, who came through for his team in the final game of his high school career to tie things up and send things into overtime. This after a huge clutch defensive stop that he had back in the first half. And of course, on top of all the great saves made by the senior keeper in his final game, Max Curiel. Went into the first overtime, no score either way, some great stops on both sides. Went through the second overtime, no score for most of it. We were into stoppage time in the second overtime, just a couple minutes away from going to penalty kicks, like this was a sports movie or something, when then, off the goal kick deflection, a long pass from number 22, Julian Gravero, was chased down and deflected by number 21 in the last game of his career, getting his second straight game-winning goal after scoring the lone goal of the semifinals. He gets the overtime game winner to give his team the state title. Number 21, Isaac Heffes. What a game. What a game. What a season. And I just got to say, it has been an incredible privilege to be able to just be a tiny part of this, bringing you these streams, getting to watch these games and commentate on them. It's been an absolute pleasure. I hope you have enjoyed watching wherever you are. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all your kind words in the live chat. If you enjoyed the broadcast, be sure to hit the like button. I encourage you to subscribe to the channel. Stay on top of all of my upcoming live streams. I do have the Thanksgiving football game coming up next Thursday between these same two schools. That should be a fun one. If you're watching this after the fact, you can still leave comments in the comments section. Special shout out once again to the Brookline Food Pantry. Remember to go to brooklinefoodpantry.org or call 617-800-5339. Find out how you can help feed the hungry in the Brookline community. The link and phone number are in the description of the video. Links to my personal website, jessesports.com, Also in the description, if you would like me to cover your team's game, if you'd like me to put together a highlight video of a team I have already covered for you, I am able to do that. You can find out more on jessesports.com. You can also send me an email, jgms88@gmail.com, to just reach out to me directly. A question from Johannes Walter: will you leave the recording up on YouTube? Yes, I will. This automatically stays up. And now that the season is over, I should be able to make it public, I think. And yeah, I think that's about all that needs to be said at this point. It feels like I should say more, but honestly, this game kind of speaks for itself, doesn't it? Brookline 2, Newton North 1. The goal scorers for Brookline, Toby Prabhu-Schlosser and Isaac Heffes, with some great defensive heroics from Max Curiel and company. And for the last time, your 2021 MIAA Division I Boys Soccer State Champions, the Brookline High Warriors. I am Jesse Mayfield-Sheehan from Manning Field in Lynn, Massachusetts. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of your weekend.